Have you ever wanted to play Singleton Arena Merfolk? Well, here's a good deck list to get you started. This is Kody from Fishin Merfolk Podcast. We are going to be playing some Singleton in the Valentine singles event. My wife has just left this morning on her deployment, so I find myself among those singled out. So here, I decided to play some Merfolk Singleton. So we're going to go over the land base first. We have, I took out an island, but we have 7 islands. Sometimes the way this interface works is pretty intrusive to doing if I right click? Okay. So, 7 islands, a Memorial to Genius, 6 forests, a Memorial to Unity, Breeding Pool, Hinterland Harbor, Simic Guildgate, Woodland Stream, Evolving Wilds, and Unclaimed Territory make up our land base. So that's 7, I think 21 lands altogether. Starting with the 1-drops, we have Benthic Biomancer, Commandus Speaker, Adventurous Impulse, and Shaper's Sanctuary. Since this is Singleton, you know, it's one of those things where your decks aren't quite as consistent, and so we want to have ways to protect the things that we have, and then we also want to be able to get further ahead in our deck, get some card advantage going. We have Naban, Deed of Iteration, because of its trigger ability there. It's such a good card for Merfolk, I think, and Naban is just super cool anyway, so just an interesting legendary creature. River Sneak and Silvergill Adept, aka Best Fish. Deep Root Champion, because we do have quite a few non-creature spells. Deep Root Elite to put counters on everything, and Merfolk Branchwalker to do some exploring. Merfolk Mistbinder is a lord. We have a Negate. We have Search for Ascanta as a way to filter through our deck. Gaia's Blessing is kind of a fix for the Persistent Petitioner's deck. Helps us not be milled out, but also is just a way to return, cards from our graveyard. And Growth Spiral is a way to put an extra land onto the battlefield and draw a card, kind of just a good cantrip. Next up is Mirror Image, which is just a clone. So, cloning a good Merfolk is always good. Water Trap Weaver to tap down something for a long time. Jungleborn Pioneer just to have a couple bodies and just be Merfolk. Jade Light Ranger, I don't really need to explain this card. Jade Light Ranger is just kind of does its thing and is Jade Light Ranger. Kumena, Tyrant of Erazga, is one of the best Merfolk cards printed from the Ixalan block, so we have that. Along with Shapers of Nature, we can put counters on things and draw cards with it, so in the long term it's pretty good. Crashing Tide lets us bounce something and draw a card, most of the time at least. If anything, it's at least bounce something, so that's not, totally terrible. Deeproot Waters lets us get some Merfolk tokens when we cast Merfolk, so just a good card. Quasi-Duplicate, another clone effect. Wizard Retort is generally just counterspell in this deck because we have lots of wizards. Crushing Canopy destroys an enchantment or a creature with flying. In Singleton, you want to have answers to these things because Merfolk is generally weak to flyers. But it can also destroy a problematic enchantment. Grow from the Ashes is also very good. It's just kind of a ramp spell, and that's the rest of our 3 drops. So we have Incubation Incongruity, so we can Ancestral Recall, or we can I forgot what the name of that 3 mana hybridization. That's what it's called. So we can either Ancestral Recall or Hybridization, depending on where we draw it in the game. Seafloor Oracle lets us draw cards. Forerunner of the Heralds lets us search up a Merfolk card, and then also kind of grows big. Zagana just kind of gives all of our creatures with +1/+1 counters trample, and it also has a pretty big adaptability, so that's pretty great. Sleep is pretty self-explanatory. If we can land a huge sleep and just destroy their, tap down their board, we can usually get past and do a bunch of damage. Path of Discovery is good just because we're dropping lots of creatures, letting them explore. Either lets us put lands in our hands or draws us cards, so it's pretty good. I'm okay with Path of Discovery. Salvager of Secrets is not super exciting, but it does bring back an instant or sorcery from our graveyard, so it kind of helps keep the deck flowing and as a body. If you get stuck, you really want to be able to, kind of keep going forward. So Salvager is good as a long game plan. Tatyova is just value incarnate. Tatyova is so good and is a Merfolk, so we have to play her. Next is Karn's Temporal Sundering. Sometimes taking an extra turn, being able to attack again is all we need to win the game. River's Rebuke is fairly similar. Just bounce everything back to our opponent's hands, sets our opponent back really far, and can really help us out. Tishana, Voice of Thunder, draws us a bunch of cards and can generally be a really big creature, but drawing a lot of cards is really important to us. So we have Tishana as a way to be able to draw a lot of cards. And Slin Voda is a way to balance all non-Merfolk creatures, which will generally be a lot of our opponents. So there's the deck, guys and girls. We're going to be playing some Singleton with this deck, and hopefully we'll earn some promo Galtas with this. So stay tuned for the rest of the video and the rest of this league-ish thing that we're doing, the rest of the week's content worth of videos. And we will have lots of fun playing this deck. We'll see you then.